should always and always keep your dogs leashed when you're in public. Second thing, muzzle is not mandatory. So in case somebody is saying that, but just the fact that, you have to just be in compliance, ensure that you are not creating any unreasonable nuisance. Right? We've touched upon it a little bit, but raat ko puri raat howl karna, for example, is not something that will put you in a good light. So we actually had this issue with Radha. Radha was an abused dog. Like when we got her, she had suffered a very, very traumatic experience before with her previous parents. And Radha still has separation anxiety. We worked on it a lot with a few dog trainers here and there, but we've not seen any positive results. But Vasudha actually had to shift from a night shift to a day shift when she was staying alone with Radha, just because Radha could not be left alone at night, and we started receiving complaints. And then when we checked about unreasonable nuisance, reasonable nuisance and all, so basically we had to change our lifestyle there. So, nobody could raise a finger at us and say, "Aap jo kar rahe ho, galat kar rahe ho." Now, there is something known as public park etiquette for dogs, which all of us as dog parents have to ensure that we follow so that we are not in the wrong. And so guys, with law, the thing is that if you are slamming a law on someone's face, you also have to ensure that they can't pick out mistakes in your conduct, right? Otherwise, tu galat kar raha hai, to main bhi galat kar raha hu, wala situation sets in, and that doesn't help anyone. So just a few quick points which deal with dog etiquette in parks is, so it is recognized by the AWBI that you have to take your dogs to parks, right? They need exercise. If they are not exercised, they will become aggressive. That's what the AWBI says. So taking a dog for exercising in a park is perfectly fine. So that's part one. Second is that dogs have to be leashed. Third, dogs have to be walked by an adult, right? If a little child is walking a dog, that is not fine. You are beyond the scope of protection of the law. Children can't be walking dogs in public parks, right? Apart from that, when you take your dogs for exercising, those times have to be reasonable times. All right. Now, reasonable is again very, very vague, because reasonable according to each of us, even on this call, is different, right? Now, what is reasonable is something that has to be defined by our RWA, right? So they will decide one time in the morning, one time in the evening, and these timings are also subject to change seasonally, depending on whether it's summers or winters. But they have to liaise with you to define what is a reasonable time. But again, the onus here is on them. Unless they've defined a reasonable time, then you can't really do anything, right? Apart from that, the parks management cannot mandate muzzles. I think even this was something that had come up, that you can walk your dog, but only with a muzzle. So that's not allowed either. One more thing that has been discussed here is picking up dog poop. So picking up dog poop is not mandatory under law, right? So the AWBI has said that it is advisable, even in community harmony and for cleanliness, you can do it. It's advisable that you pick it up, but it's not illegally enforceable कि आपको उठाना ही पड़ेगा. And the reason they say is there is no law in India which says if you're a dog owner, you have to scoop up the poop behind your dog. These are all things that AWBI has said in their guidelines. So as long as you are in the clear of all of these things, you are good to go to take those guidelines and basically shove it in somebody's face and demand enforceability.